Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, for me. Oh, for me. And before I be a slave, I be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and I'll be free. From Africa, they come. On a slave ship, they come against their will. To the shores of America, they come. They were Martin Luther King Jr.'s ancestors. They were forced to work in the cotton fields from sun up to sundown in temperatures of over 100 degrees with inadequate food, water, clothing, or shelter. They were beaten. They were humiliated. Some even died. Martin Luther King Jr.'s paternal grandfather was James Albert King. James Albert King was a slave. When the Civil War ended, the plantation owner asked him to stay on to take care of the crops. He told him that they would divide the profits equally at the end of the season. James Albert King was excited. Now he was going to be able to build a little house for his wife and 8 children. He worked hard. At the end of the season, he went in for the accountant. The plantation owner told him that he hadn't worked hard enough and in fact owed him money. The next year, James Albert King worked even harder. At the time of the accountant, the plantation owner again told him that he hadn't worked hard enough and owed him money. Year after year, the message was the same. James Albert King had not worked hard enough and owed the plantation owner money. James Albert King's oldest son was Michael, who later changed his name to Martin. Michael attended school on the plantation where he learned to read, write, and count. One year he asked his father if he could accompany him to the accounting. The plantation owner's message was the same. James Albert King had not worked hard enough and owed him money. Michael began to count in his head. He told the plantation owner that he had made a mistake in his counting. He told him that he had not included the cost of the seeds. He told him that he indeed owed his father $1,000. The plantation owner was furious. He accused the boy of being disrespectful and wanted to beat him. But James Albert King convinced him to let him take care of the boy, but good, when they got home. Michael decided that he'd had enough of plantation life and left immediately. He began to walk to Atlanta, Georgia. He promised himself that one day he would own a fancy brick house, just like the plantation owner. In Atlanta, he obtained a job washing dishes in a restaurant, and he began to attend the Ebenezer Baptist Church. He became an assistant in the church. When the pastor died, he became the pastor. He also married. He changed his name at that time to Martin Luther King Sr. When Martin Luther King Jr. was born, people thought he was dead because he did not cry. After a few whacks on the back and the bottom, however, he began to cry. He was a leader among the children in this neighborhood. He was the one who decided which games they would play. He was friends with a little white boy whose father owned a business nearby, and they played together almost every day. When they were ready to attend school, both decided that they would walk to school together every day. On the first day of school, however, one of the boy's parents told Martin Luther King Jr. that he could not play with the son anymore because the son was white and he was a Negro. Martin Luther King Jr. graduated at the top of his class. He enrolled at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. There, the director of theology convinced him to become a pastor. After graduating from Morehouse, he attended Rosa Theological Seminary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he was the only Negro student. The white students were polite but not very friendly. One day, the school sponsored an oratorical contest. Martin Luther King Jr. wowed both students and staff with his speaking ability. After that, the students became friendly and even made him president of the class. After graduating, he enrolled at Boston University to obtain a doctorate degree in theology. While there, he met Coretta Scott, who was studying to become an opera singer. She gave up her ambitions to move to Montgomery, Alabama, where she joined him as he became the pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. One day, one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s members got on a bus in Montgomery. She had been working all day on a job as a seamstress in a Montgomery department store. She sat behind the sign that separated Negroes from whites. The bus filled up. The bus driver asked her to get up and give her seat to a white woman who had just gotten on. He also asked two Negro men on the opposite side of the aisle to get up because Negroes could not sit opposite a white person on the bus. The two men got up and moved. Rosa Parks refused to move. She said that some people said that she didn't move because she was tired and her feet hurt. She said the reason she didn't move was because she was tired of giving in. When Martin Luther King Jr. found out that Rosa Parks had been arrested and thrown into jail because she refused to move from her seat, he became very upset. He contacted all of the Negro pastors in Montgomery and asked them to have their members boycott or refuse to ride the buses. He also asked them to boycott or refuse to buy things in stores that did not treat them with respect. He asked persons who had cars to go to the bus stops and pick up people who needed rides to get to the doctor, the grocery store, or other places. The bus company had to go out of business because it didn't have enough passengers. Many stores had to close because they did not have enough customers. Martin Luther King's home was bombed while his wife and children were inside. He was beaten, he was thrown in jail. In a march from Selma to Birmingham, fire hoses were put on him, police dogs were set on him, but he prevailed. As a result, the Civil Rights Act was passed by Congress, which said that discrimination would no longer be allowed in public places. Martin Luther King Jr. continued to prevail. He tried to help people who had economic problems as well as those with civil rights. He was in he was in Memphis, Tennessee, helping garbage workers who were poor and had dangerous working conditions when he was assassinated or shot to death while standing in the balcony of a hotel. Martin Luther King Jr. is well known today. There's a national holiday in his honor every year. Many institutions, facilities, streets, and other places carry his name. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, for me, and before I be a slave, I be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord, and I'll be free. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lois. The gift of storytelling, which is truly a gift, helps Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life, a dream, stay alive with us today. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And